Good afternoon, Patriot Pals. Thank you for joining me. God bless each and every one of you. Let's just jump right in, folks. There's plenty of things to talk about. Good news. We've actually got some really awesome court decisions, including putting a stop to Biden's agenda, which has been decimated by the courts, which is absolutely fantastic. And also, we've got a little bit of action from DeSantis, which is important, because I'm of the opinion that come 2029, after the 2028 elections, he will be in the Oval Office. And today is a big day for Donald Trump and the rule of law. Let me read you this USA Today: DOJ to release redacted affidavit. New York Times judge orders redacted affidavit used in Trump's search warrant to be unsealed. Why is this important? Is another CNN article people should read? Wall Street Journal informant tipped off investigators about more documents at Mar-a-Lago? Donald Trump is almost certainly found the informant, or he will find the informant with the enriched the redacted search warrant. Why is that important? Well, let's see. There's an informant on trial in Durham probe, special counsel, Steele dossier subsource, who gave the FBI false information about Trump. Then there is Michael Sussman, who actually did lie to the Bureau, but got acquitted because nobody believed that the Bureau was deceived by his lies. And they couldn't use a text message where he actually stated, "Now I'm not coming on behalf of a client. I'm not being paid," as he's being paid by Clinton. Clinton and her team purchased the Steele dossier. The Democratic Party and her campaign paid FEC vial of fines for using campaign money to buy a Steele dossier that was funneled through U.S. government and the Federal Bureau of Investigation to go after Trump. That started in addition to Comey's nonsensical memos. A special counsel, Robert Mueller time. Remember, Mueller time led to nothing. Nobody was indicted or charged. Trump wasn't. Nobody was for conspiring or working to collude or working with a foreign intelligence official. Never happened. It was completely fabricated, by the way. Yes, believe it or not, impressionable, wonderful, highly educated, morally superior, oftentimes apoplectic, liberal Democrat, it was fabricated by loyalists within the U.S. government. One person actually stating "we'll stop Trump" in a text message. Okay. So Peter Strzok, high-ranking official at the Bureau, that led to nothing. Then there was an investigation for about a year and a half. Now in New York about his taxes, tax returns, his businesses, led to nothing. He hasn't been indicted. The New York probe is basically ended already. Then there's an investigation in Georgia where he pressured officials who to undermine democracy. Didn't work out. No, he hasn't been indicted. He's not going to be indicted. They can't even find anything just to indict him. You don't even need like a lot of evidence. You need just some evidence that you've committed a crime. It's not that difficult if somebody has committed a crime. If they can't indict Trump, that means that they're going after him, trying desperately to go after him, because Hillary did commit crimes with those servers and top secret intel. And I want to Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I pray every day that Hillary becomes nominee. We need to relive that. But Clinton didn't commit crimes. You can't transfer or siphon classified data from the US government onto your own secret network outside the government that anyone can infiltrate. Can't do that. And then you say it's for convenience. It's like a cybersecurity nightmare. It's a complete mockery of classified data. But anyway, Comey couldn't find intent. The informant, by the way, will just read this, giving you this is the kind of bird's eye view of everything, so they can't find anything on Trump. They can easily indict Hunter. They could have easily indicted Clinton. They chose not to. Hunter has 150 suspicious financial transactions. Trump has how many suspicious financial transactions? About 0. And if he did, they would have focused on that with the intensity of 1,000 suns. Okay. But so they can't find anything on Trump, stormy tax returns, Cheney and Kinzinger, and tried to overthrow American democracy. I can't find anything. Either indict him or stop talking. Either indict Trump, morally superior, highly educated, wonderful liberal Democrats who have the Attorney General, the House, the Senate, the presidency. Loyalists within the Federal Bureau of Investigation, intel agencies, all the social media algorithms, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. Late night, pretty much. I mean, what? How many? How much more? How many? It advantages can you have? Either indict Trump or consider shutting up for the next 2 years. That'll never happen. Money taught, and as an expression, money talks. You know what walks I mean. You have nothing to show for all your apoplectic hysterical behavior or Trump. He's a criminal. He's a criminal. Well, based on what? Okay. Now we'll get to continue the title headline of this segment. Wall Street Journal informant tipped off investigators about more documents at Mar-a-Lago. The informants is almost certainly the same type of informant that's on trial right now with the Durand Pro special counsel, same type of informant assessment and the team of people he created, he paid or worked alongside, to fabricate the Alpha Bank nonsense, the people that the purveyors, the people who spread all the false information. All the information is just fake and phony and fabricated. These are the people who pontificate the most about. They lie infinitely more than Trump. If you're watching right now, Trump lies about crowd size. They lie about Hunter and Joe meeting hundreds business associates and money flowing into the foundation and flowing into Joe's bank account. And then you have this highly educated, wonderful, brilliant atheist single kickbacks, no big deal. It's Trump University has nothing to do with national security. Having American politicians paid off has a direct impact on all of our lives and national security. You don't even have to explain further than that. That's like basic logic. No kickbacks, and Amy want to go back that rabbit hole. What rabbit hole? You have his emails, it's right there. The thing is, like the morally superior on the left, they're like, it's a rabbit hole. You'd have to go into all these theories. What theories? Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced to resign. Bad happened. Clinton had servers with top secret intel that happened. Trump has boxes that he wanted for a library. Alright. And Hunter is like videotaped, and there's voicemails. Joe met with hundreds business associates. He has all of these financial transactions that are shady and like graft and bribery. It's all there. You don't have to fabricate a dossier with Hunter. It's actually his life. You don't need to fabric. You don't need an informant to tell you that Clinton had top secret intel. She did Comey his own words, and she might have a broken lungs. But the point of this segment is that the informant? He'll find out almost certainly who the informant is with the redacted affidavit, but he already knows almost certainly. He has video surveillance. He knows where the Bureau looked in terms of boxes. Then now the interesting thing is what are the chances Trump maybe has boxes elsewhere, aside from Mar-a-Lago? Is that possible? Maybe? Does he have any other buildings that he lives in or that he frequents? Is it possible? So, everything backfired. They're like, we're gonna go and we're going to make Trump, we're going to show the world that nobody is above the rule of law. And then they hide Clinton and under his crimes, and then they go after Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And he breaks fundraising records. You cannot stop the man going by them. What are you waiting for? Merrick Garland gives the outer body experience that all of these wonderful morally superior Democrats are waiting for? Oh my God. They will think that they will thank the gods that they don't believe in. If Trump is ever indicted, and guess what? An indicted Trump, we would still almost certainly defeat a Democrat. Because the whole planet would know that they're just going after Trump like a student in class in middle school or high school that always gets picked on by the teacher or by the cool crowd. The system is leveled against Trump. But the point of this segment, the FBI search of former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence was prompted by tip to investigators about the possibility of additional classified documents. How on earth? And that's why I say the informants almost certainly linked to the Clintons or Democrats in some manner. Because you have one person on trial in October with the Durham probe, special counsel who was working with the Clinton public relations executive. A Clinton public relations executive helped create the dossier that was utilized by Comey to go after Trump. Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. Late night, The Washington Post. Nobody knows this, or nobody cares if they know what they don't care. But see, they don't. Most people don't know that. And the thing is, most Democrats never ask, would you accept that if the tables returned? Would you accept Biden being treated, mashed potato brains being treated that way? No, you wouldn't. You absolutely would not. That's the issue. But here's the thing. There's no way the informant would know if there was additional classified documents or if that Trump removed those documents, unlawfully or illegally, in a form. It wouldn't have that information in the form. It wouldn't have the security clearance to read or to rummage through the boxes. And form, it would simply be a pretext by people within the Federal Bureau of Investigation to go after Trump like they've had for the past 6 years. You can't get him on his tax returns. You can't get him on his businesses. You can't get him in Georgia, in New York. In Congress with Ken Kinzinger and Cheney, the Mueller probe couldn't get him. Do you want to know why Democrats? Because he did not commit a crime. You know, who did commit a crime? Hunter and other Democrats. They haven't been indicted, because the rule of law has been ripped to shreds by the morally superior among us. The problem is you have families and friendships who have dissolved not because of the Trump supporter, because of the morally superior, apoplectic, wonderful, highly educated liberal who's ignorant of just basic knowledge about all of these things. You don't have to be, you know, the smartest person on the planet to realize that Clinton had servers for 4 years funneling data outside of the US government. Nobody disputes that. But they can't possibly say, well, what if Trump was doing that? How would I react? The cognitive dissonance. See, allegiance. The Democratic Party has replaced God or religion. They worship James Clapper like the Intel chiefs are the gods of the Democratic Party. Until it's a Trump Intel chief, then it's, you know, they just break the statue. They worship the Washington Post, the New York Times. This was reality. According to them, they don't really ask if there's anyone who supports Trump there. Isn't it interesting how you have over 70 million Americans? Almost half the electorate supporting Trump. Not one Trump supporter. The Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, New Yorker, New York Magazine, Time Magazine, Los Angeles, not one. You can't find one. You can't have one Trump supporter, not one person published, not one. Anyway, and then people who enjoy he showed divisive like won't know he's Trump as not Trump pushes the envelope in terms of rhetoric. It's true, but we had record highs in terms of household median income, record lows in terms of poverty, got us out of regions of the world, militarily negotiated wonderful treaties or foreign policy. Diplomacy was amazing under Trump, much better than his predecessor, President Obama, a million times better than what's going on with mashed potato brains. Can you imagine if the invasion in Europe took place under Trump? I mean, who knows how they would react? They cared more, they were more indignant about the Helsinki Conference in the invasion in Europe. And then you get these people. Like he's a threat to democracy, really. And at the same time, they're like, oh, suppress any information. We don't like what you're talking about democracy. And then you want to suppress people's, you know, the ability to, you know, actually hear breaking news like the New York Post, the story on Hunter that we couldn't hear about until it was, you know, 2 years after, or a year and a half after. Any informant doesn't have security clearance to read or rummage through the boxes, almost certainly didn't know anything about those boxes, and was used as a pretext. Just like other informants and sources that government agencies used against Trump. They have nothing on Trump. Does that mean they won't indict them? They could indict an innocent man they set up and framed in as innocent man. They could do that. But they thought that he would win a trial. They have nothing on Trump. And it seems as though Donald Trump is back. I think a lot of people can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. That's what I got for you guys though. Thanks for watching.